Hey Canucks fans, is there an ideal landing spot for Alexis Lafreniere? I'm Clay Emo, I'm at Canuck Clay on Twitter, I'm at Clayton Emo on Instagram, I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club, and this is my Canucks take all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Monday, June the 29th. This is where you get Canucks insight that's positive and timely. Speaking of positive, congratulations to our captain, Bo Horvat, his wife Holly, on the birth of their first child, Gunnar John Horvat. Welcome to the world on the weekend. Apparently everyone is healthy, everyone's doing well. We're starting to see the pictures on social media. Awesome news. It's too bad Bo and Holly did not take my naming advice. I thought Clay or Sean, my middle name, would have been a wonderful option for a first name. But Gunnar John sounds pretty darn good. Just sounds like a guy who's going to take care of himself in school throughout his elementary school years for sure, and on to high school. And who knows, maybe he'll be playing in the NHL 20 years from now. So once again, congratulations to Bo and Holly on the birth of Gunnar John Horvat. Yesterday, my typical fare, I did Ask Me Anything during the day, and then I did my live stream in the evening. Really good conversation during the live stream, as always. I think people are starting to get more excited again that hockey is basically a month away now, if everything goes well. But one thing that came up in both my Ask Me Anything during the afternoon and in my live stream in the evening is this question of which team deserves to land Alexis Lafreniere. And it's an interesting question when put that way, but I've heard it put that way a few times. And my first response is I don't think that any team deserves Lafreniere, especially when you're talking about a lottery, right? And you're talking about that it was a fluke that a placeholder team is going to win the chance to choose Lafreniere, and then you still have a 1 in 8 chance. So I wouldn't say that a team deserves Lafreniere, but I will spend a few minutes now talking about who I don't want to win Lafreniere, and maybe a couple teams that I wouldn't mind if they did. And maybe that's a better context to put it, as opposed to which team deserves him. And of course, I'm not going to talk about the Vancouver Canucks. You guys know how I feel about this. Well, I'll talk about them for a second. I've said this many times over the past week or the past few days, is 100% I'd much rather the Canucks win their play-in series against the Wild and try and do some damage in the playoffs, start to build a winning culture, and especially get guys like Pettersson, Hughes, Besser more playoff experience. Horvat's had one series, Markstrom, and then you look at guys that can help, guys that have won Stanley Cups like Beagle, Toffoli, and Pearson, guys that have had deep playoff runs like Miller and Myers. So I really think, especially Markstrom gets hot, I think the Canucks have as good a chance as anyone to move through the playoffs. So I'm not going to be naming Vancouver as a team that doesn't deserve or does deserve, to use your terminology or many of your terminology, Alexis Lafreniere. Here are some teams that I do not want for him to go to. And there's the one team that I simply dislike, and I've talked about this before, is I don't like the Calgary Flames. I've never liked them, way back from old playoff series to 2015, to that bench clearing brawl that Bob Hartley started, remember, a few years ago with the Canucks, the one that got basically John Tortorella suspended and started the nosedive of that particular season. I just don't like Calgary, and nothing against their fan base. Their fans are fine. The fans like any type of fans, but I just don't like their team. I don't like Goudreau, and there are a lot of guys on that team that I don't like. So I would not want to see Lafreniere go to Calgary. So that's my first one. I also wouldn't want to see Lafreniere go to Toronto or Pittsburgh. And I have nothing against those teams, but Toronto already has a lot of young, good forwards, and not just young, but old too. But you look at guys like, of course, Matthews and Marner, Nylander. I don't think they need Lafreniere, so I don't want him to see going to Toronto, and then the media coverage would be just ridiculous. And then Pittsburgh, actually we were talking about this on the live stream yesterday. I have nothing against Pittsburgh. I like Sidney Crosby actually. But does Pittsburgh, a franchise that's had Crosby, Lemieux, Malkin, Jagger, do they need Lafreniere as well? I would opine no, that they do not need him, and they've already had their good run of franchise players. So there's a few for you. Calgary, there's Toronto, there's Pittsburgh. I also don't want Edmonton to get Lafreniere. Edmonton is also a team that I don't like that much, but I think they've had enough number one picks, and they're kind of the blueprint for showing that, not tanking, but that getting a number one pick does not automatically guarantee playoff success. So between McDavid, obviously, and they had Yakupov, didn't work out, but their other number one picks throughout the year, and then the fact that Draisaitl's there as well. I don't think that, I don't think that the Edmonton Oilers need Lafreniere. So there's two from the East, two from the West, Calgary and Edmonton, that I don't want to see him get Lafreniere, and there's two from the East in Toronto and Pittsburgh that I don't want them to land him. Now, if you go on the other side, who are the teams, aside from Vancouver, only if they lose to Minnesota, of course, who are teams that I wouldn't mind if they received him? Well, a lot of people talk about Montreal, and I don't think that deserving, but I think sentimental is the better word. Obviously, Lafreniere, born in Quebec, playing in the Q, that would seem to make the most sense, and that would obviously be a big boon for the Montreal fan base. So I could see that being as an acceptable proposition. And then in the West, of course, you're playing in the Western Conference. I wouldn't want to pick a Pacific team, and Calgary and Edmonton, I already said no, and Vegas can't. So really, of a central team, I wouldn't mind if he went to Winnipeg. You guys know that Winnipeg is my second favorite team in the NHL. And yeah, sure, it'd make it tougher for Vancouver to beat them, but I do like Winnipeg. I like the way they play. I like their fan base. I like that city. So Winnipeg would be the team that I wouldn't mind Lafreniere going to in the West. So there you go, Canucks fans. I would love to know your thoughts. Is whether you use the term deserving or sentimental or appropriate or whatever word you want to use, give me both. Which team or teams do you not want to see Lafreniere go to, and which team or teams would you be okay with them going to? And remember, in the West, you cannot pick Vegas, Colorado, Dallas, or St. Louis because they will not be in the qualifying round, so they can't lose. And similarly in the East, you can't pick Boston, Tampa, Washington, or Philly. So again, for me, the teams I do not want to see him go to, Edmonton and Calgary in the West, and Toronto and Pittsburgh in the East. Teams I'd be okay with him going to, Winnipeg in the West, and Montreal in the East. I would love to hear yours. Where do you not want to see him go, and where would you be okay seeing him go? Leave a comment below. I'd love to read, react, and reply as always. Subscribe if you like to. Like this video if you like to. Enjoy the day. Enjoy the sun. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Stay safe and stay healthy. Have a great day. God bless, and go Canucks go.